What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of UnSKripted. We're here. It's one of my favorite times of the week. I get to speak to all of the big names, and this is a big name coming for you this week once again, man. Look, this is my guy, man. Awesome dude, funny dude. I love talking to this guy, and I'm surprised that after like many months of doing this show, this is the first time of him being on here. But he's a busy guy, man. He's super busy. I thought I was busy, but I don't know, man. I probably got some competition with this dude. Without further ado, former WWE, TNA, ECW. Listen, wherever you turn the TV on, whatever company it was, he was there, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Knox, how are you tonight, sir?
Oh, baby. I'm doing good, man. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. How you doing? How's life?
Living the dream, man. Like we were saying earlier, man, it's tough out there right now.
Yeah.
People are nervous. You know what I mean? A lot of people are hurting out there. And I just want to say it on the air. I said it off the air, but I want to say it on. We all thank you for what you're doing, man. You help get our mind out of some garbage sometimes.
Thanks, man.
And, I appreciate it. I know everybody else does too, man.
I appreciate it. Man.
During all this, you know, I'm a real estate agent down here in Tampa. Mm-hmm. If you're ever thinking about coming down, look up the big boy. We'll tell some funny stories. We'll have a good time, man. We'll get you in a house, or we'll help you sell your place, whatever you want. Nice. Yeah, man. It's a crazy year to say the least, man. Crazy year.
Yeah, yes, indeed, man. Speaking of Tampa, I actually was had a plane ticket ready to come to, because I cover WrestleMania every year, and I was ready to rock, and you know, doing media, and I was ready. Had my ticket, had my Airbnb, had everything ready.
Dude, we were gonna have this awesome signing.
Yeah.
There's like me and Gallows and like some of the aces and eights, and like we had all this stuff planned. It was gonna be so fun. That got canceled. I mean, that's whatever. You know, that's fun with the boys. You know what I mean? But really, the city really got hosed. Yeah. You know, that's you know WrestleMania.
Yeah,
millions and millions of dollars come to the city, like with revenue and tourism. That's our big thing down here, anyways. COVID put the boots to that real quick, man.
Sure did, man. Sure did. Sadly, so we'll see what happens, man. There's some chat. There's some scuttlebutt that it's going to be limited seating, and they're going to try to pack a few thousand in there at the Tropicana come April. So we'll see where that happens. So
yeah, that'd be nice, man.
Yeah.
Everybody, I just know the city was super excited, man. Everybody I talked to, even people that weren't wrestling fans, were all super excited about it, man. A lot of positivity was around it.
Yep, indeed. All right, man, you ready to tackle these questions?
Heck yeah, man.
We got a lot of people ready to rock, man. Let's start with Riju saying, "Hey, Mike, what was it like working with CM Punk? Did you expect him to become the biggest thing in pro wrestling?" According to Riju, but not me. Mike Knox is the biggest thing in pro wrestling.
Biggest thing in pro wrestling. Yeah, man. What I'll tell you what, it was awesome working with Punk. I never really got to work with him before that. We've both been bounced around for a long time, man. Maybe 8-10 years before we got up to where we finally got to meet each other. And we never met, we never played around in the ring or nothing. I remember the first time that we wrestled, it was like I missed like 2 or 3 planes. It was just one of those nightmare days, and I didn't think I was ever going to get there. I was in the car, changing in the car as they were driving me to the arena because the music was on. He was already out in the ring, and I had to jump out of the car and run through this thing. I think it was a Tucson or something. Yeah, and we ran to the ring and did everything out there. You know what I mean? The lost art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, calling it in the ring.
Every single thing out there. You know what I mean? Including the finish.
Yeah.
And before, when I was in Deep South, I was kind of like, I saw him on tape, and I was just kind of like, I don't get it. What's the big deal, man? Like, I don't know, he ain't that good. Like, I don't understand why everybody's on him, like this. And then I went out there, we did that first match, and I was a fan of his ever since. I was like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, duh. All right.
Easy to work with, huh?
Yeah, man, real good. And great outside the ring, great guy. You know what I mean? People kind of give him a little bit because he went up to UFC and he was trying to fight. You know what I mean? He's like, that takes heart, man, and that takes guts. Yeah. And that takes, he don't have Brock Lesnar's size. You know what I mean? He wasn't wrestling since he was born. Shooter style. You know what I mean? But he did it, man, and he made some money.
Yeah.
And God bless him. I wish him nothing but success, man. After that first match, we were pretty solid, man.
Nice. Guillermo's asking, how was it working with Kelly, and didn't you feel sorry for her having a stripper gimmick?
I did feel sorry for her having to do that gimmick because she was 18 years old.
Yeah.
She wasn't in the business. Like, she wasn't like how, like Natty or like these girls, they come from a little bit of training, you know what I mean? Like years and years of work. She was kind of just thrown in there. She came down to Deep South, I want to say maybe a few months before ECW opened up. And that was it.
Wow.
So she didn't know like the tact in the locker room when she first got there. Like, she didn't know that it's not okay to be 5 minutes late, or you know what I mean, or to make people wait, or you know what I mean. But she learned really fast. You know what I mean? And it's like, I want to say, I remember when Sandman hit her with that stick. When I pulled her in the way, like, you know what I mean? That was the first time that she ever had gotten physicality in the ring. And I'll be honest, after that, I do not remember her ever being late. I don't remember her, you know what I mean? Like, there was a lot different respect after getting smashed in the face with that cane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
welcome to WWE.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, you do this every single day? Like,
yes,
exactly. Like that 5, 6, 7, 8 times, like a night? I was like, yep.
Wow. Yeah. How does she even get discovered?
I want to say, now I'm not 100% on this, but I want to say she was John Laurinaitis's maybe neighbor or good friend's daughter or a friend of the family. Because I know whenever she came in, he was extra protective of her. Gotcha. Made it like a big deal about it. Like, boys, this is an innocent young girl. No corrupting. Like, be professional, guys. You know what I mean? So, and we were.
Yeah. All right, let's go, Chris. Favorite memories of John Huber, Brodie Lee, Luke Harper.
Man, I didn't know him all that well. You know, I just ran into him in passing a couple of times. Really, we never really spoke much. I didn't know a whole lot about him. I always enjoyed his work. I thought he was solid. I thought he was very underused.
Yeah.
And very underappreciated. How many times you find, you know, fellas of that size with speed that can think in the ring, and you know what I mean? Their stuff's believable. There ain't no holes in it, and it's like, you know what I mean? He took pride in his work, and you could tell, you know. And like I said, I didn't know him, but my boy Luke did. You know what I mean? Gallows. I talk to him all the time. You know what I mean? We're best friends, so. And I was just like, man, I didn't understand. Like he smarted me up what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, my first thoughts when you don't know, it's like, oh no, not another one. Like, why do we just keep going down?
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I found out that it was like all that medical stuff, and oh my gosh, how much he loved his family, and it's like that's all he talked about. And I don't know, man. I felt like even though I didn't know him and I didn't speak to him, I felt like I knew him a little bit. And my heart goes out for that family. It's awful.
I agree. Indeed. Mike is asking, big fan of your WWE days. Were there any plans for you to get a run with the ECW title?
I didn't know it at the time. I found out later. I think it was from Punk, actually, that I found out. We were talking one night, and we were both kind of Paulie's guys, you know, like Punk was his guy down in OVW, and I was kind of his guy up in Deep South. Mm-hmm. And we always had that big rival thing going on. You know, it's so weird, different from today, how it is. Like, it's crazy. It shakes my head how it is now. You know, so it's like we always had this thing. And I think he was telling me that Punk was going to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling Punk that I was going to be the guy to see who was going to, you know what I mean, take it as a bigger challenge, I guess. But, yeah, I guess long story short, I guess there were maybe, even if it was just sprinkles of a plan in Paul Heyman's, in Paul Heyman's head. But there must have been some kind of talks. I remember one time Jim Ross, he was doing commentary on one of my matches, like one of my earlier ones, and he'd said something about being a future champion. Mm-hmm. And he pulled me over to the side afterwards, and he's like, "Don't make me regret my words," which I instantly did.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Yeah, man, I always wanted though, because that was like when Big Show had it, like, because they're really putting some big names in there for us, and they were trying to put us out, and these guys weren't mailing it in.
Yeah,
it's like Big Show. Everybody used to give him crap about not working hard.
Mm-hmm.
When he was at ECW, dude, I couldn't believe it. The caliber of matches that he had every night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't always with Kurt Angle or Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, he had some few matches.
He wasn't with all those guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In these matches with Sabu.
Sabu, yeah, I remember those Sabu matches.
You know what I mean? Like the original guys whose thinking in the ring is far different than WWE, like the original WWE guys, and that old school mentality, and especially the Giant mentality, which, he was the best big guy that I'd seen in the ring, you know what I mean, that I was personally in there with ever, you know what I mean? He's big, he's fast, he hits hard, but he don't kill you. Mm-hmm. He knows what he's doing. He can hear the crowd. Like, he's been doing it for so many years, but I had never seen him at a level when he was doing that at ECW every single night. It didn't matter if it was house shows in front of 1,000 people. Yeah. It didn't matter if it was TVs. It didn't matter if it was little, rinky-dink little 300 people shows up at the things. He's at the end of the night, he's bleeding. He's through tables. He's had a 20 or 30-minute battle to where, you know how the ECW fans are. They don't buy the WWE guys. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they're not tough. They're just these puppets that have been pushed into the machine. Like, they're not real like
Yeah.
like our guys, you know what I mean? Which is kudos to them because they had that, and even now, like years and years and years later after that, that's what people want to talk about. They want to talk
and you know,
guys because they're like those guys were real, man. They were like so.
Yeah. You know, you brought up a good point as far as just Big Show going to ECW and not phoning it in. ECW really felt like a kind of like a reset button to a lot of people's careers. I think a lot of, you know, people give WWE's ECW a lot of flack, you know, but I actually wrote an article about it years ago. I actually put it over because it really gave people like Matt Hardy, Chavo, Kane, Shelton Benjamin, William Regal. It gave a lot of people kind of like a reset button for them to kind of reestablish themselves as top names. And I actually liked it. I actually liked WWE's version of ECW.
Don't forget how many young stars
they
brought up through ECW.
Kofi Kingston.
Even if they only left them there for a minute, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Kofi and Evan Bourne and like
Evan Bourne,
Kozlov and like Tyler Rex and like all these guys that you know stuck around for a while.
Ezekiel Jackson.
Like, there's a lot of guys. Yes, Jackson. There's a lot of guys that may not have gotten an extended look if they had to wait to get on Raw or SmackDown.
100%, including CM Punk.
Including CM Punk, you know, and myself and
John Morrison.
Yes, there was so many. Golly, man, there was a lot that came through there.
Yeah.
You know, and we had. Sorry.
No, you're good.
It's not COVID. I promise.
Whoa! 6 feet, Mike. 6 feet. 6 feet.
Just hold the bar.
Collar and elbow. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. Anyways, you know me, man. I like to ramble on, dude. I just keep talking and talking and talking. But yeah, they should have got a little bit of flack because you know, like we didn't when we were going into these towns. You know what I mean? Even though they were small, we weren't pulling in a lot of crowds sometimes because they didn't know we were there. Like they weren't pubbing us the same way as they were pubbing the other stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, we were talking about the developmental systems, you know, and like it's so crazy to watch NXT and their production value and the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the fan base that they're getting and the pub that they're getting and the push that they're getting. And like, it's everywhere, you know, it's got their own cool show and all their cool stuff. And they do things a little different. If they could have envisioned that for the ECW brand, even though I know they wanted to be gritty and hardcore and all that stuff, but once word got out that they weren't going to let us do that, you know what I mean? You're not going to see blood on our shows, and you're not going to see chair headshots, and you're not going to see guys going through tables in every match because that's not how you build a show. And you know, you're not going to see guys diving off of 40-foot balconies. Yeah. Once the fans discovered that, which that only took a month before they realized that we're going to get the Disney version of ECW. You know, once that happened, they could have morphed it over to something where you're bringing up all the talent and you can use them as they're supposed to be used instead of as tackling dummies and put them in as jobber guys, and then you take guys that could have really good careers if they got started off on the right path. Working the right guys, careful, you know what I mean? Let you have some good matches, don't overexpose you, you know what I mean? Don't beat you too bad, but you know, you still can lose. But it's like if you go in there and they're trying to get a show over to a certain demographic of people, and every guy that comes in pretty much, you know, they get 1 victory or 2 victories to get a little steam, and then all of a sudden it's just, okay, who can we feed them to? Feed them to this guy. Feed them to that guy. We got to get our ratings up. We got to get these guys over. Like, you know, they're trying. Yeah. And it's an hour show too, you know what I mean? So it's not like they're going to give you a whole lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with NXT, they got this long show, and they got people like really excited producers. Not to say ours weren't. You know, ours were very excited to be there. And, you know, we did the best that we could. You know what I mean? We always worked hard. It didn't matter where we were at. You know, we were trying to prove something.
Yeah.
You know, because we kind of felt like we were slighted.
Yeah.
But, dang, man, we're not doing. They ain't really helping us out much down here. Like, you know, okay, we'll show them. Like, they're gonna see these tapes and they're gonna watch the TV and they're gonna see everything's, you know, every week it's getting better and better and better and better. But it just kind of never did, man. It just at a certain spot, the wheels started spinning and it just never got up. And then once the wheels start spinning, there's only one way to go, man. It starts down and down, and people just lose interest.
That's true.
Yeah, I really wish I was so excited when we were going to ECW.
Yeah.
So excited. I was like, ooh, they're going to let me run wild.
Brother. Yeah. Greg is asking, what were your thoughts on that Survivor Series moment when Shawn Michaels eliminated you and asked, who was that?
Oh, man. That's another one of those kicking the rib deals. You know, I mean, I was still young. I was in ECW. I was so excited to be on Royal Rumble, or not Royal Rumble. That's right. So, same thing I thought when I heard I was going to ECW. I was like, they're going to let me run wild. You know, like, no. So, you know, Michael Hayes comes in, you know, hey, man, sorry, like, you're going to be eliminated first tonight. I was like, well, okay, but I'm going to get the whoop some butt, right? Like, you're going to let me, like, give me 8 minutes, 7 minutes, like, let me get some steam on somebody. Let me do something cool that I want to do. Let the people know, because I'm ECW and you guys don't club ECW, even though we've been around for a year. You know, like the main roster guys, they really don't know who I, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, they don't know. I'm ECW guy. Like, we're not really, you know, we filmed on the same days, but we just, I don't know, it's just different.
Yeah, it was the 10 o'clock hour, wasn't it?
Yeah.
10 to 11, yeah. Eastern time, yeah.
Yeah, so he comes in, he's like, well, you know, you can do that. You can go out there and you can go, you know, 4 minutes or whatever and just be completely forgotten by everybody, you know, like, or you have a moment.
Wow.
One of those moments that people remember and they ask you about them as one part of your career. And I'm just like, I want that. I want a moment, man. That's going to be so cool. He's like, okay, you're going to get super kicked in 1 second and you're out. And I'm like, oh,
wow.
I was like, that's not the moment I wanted.
Right.
But here's the funny thing about pro wrestling, man. You get all these characters, you know what I mean, and they tell you this bad news. It's not their fault, you know what I mean? Like, somebody told them, like, this. That's true. This has happened in a meeting. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know.
How was Michaels? As far as what you experienced working with Michaels, just backstage and just in the ring?
After he hit me the kick or whatever, we had never said more than one word to each other before that, like before that day. You know what I mean? And it's not, you know, like I said, we were ECW, man. He was raw, top of the line, man. So we didn't really talk much. And then after that, we didn't really talk much either. You know what I mean? But I always remember that, and I kind of held it against them for a long time. You know what I mean? That they did that or whatever, because I don't know, bro. I mean, it's whatever. They could have done it a little differently. Help the brother out, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe get some eyes on him.
Yeah, but I agree.
I had to go another way. They thought that was best for business at the time, or it made somebody laugh. You know, or you know, pop somebody.
Yeah.
Like I said, the funny thing about the wrestling business, man, they tell you all this bad news. They do all this stuff to you, and at the end of the line, they're usually right. Because they ask me about that Survivor Series thing. They ask me about it all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and everybody's got their own little take on it and all this stuff. Like, I don't take myself that seriously. You know, it's pro wrestling and it's a very serious business, and you have to take it serious or you get hurt. But I don't take myself that seriously.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not out there thinking I'm the toughest guy and I'm the biggest draw. Like, and why me and this and that? Like, I'm not the squeaky wheel. I'm a guy that worked over 10 years to get to that company. I sacrificed everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if they want to, if they think that's best for business, who in the heck am I
Gotcha.
That it ain't. You know what I mean? So,
well, speaking of not taking yourself seriously, the Menagerie. What were your thoughts on the Menagerie?
The greatest faction in the history of wrestling. Oh man, just another one of those things, man. Like hard luck, Mike Knox, man. It's like after the Aces and Eights, you know, like they took me off TV for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, people don't know this, but I wasn't getting paid at that time.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I was on a per show deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was promised that I was going to be back in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, there's some other weird TNA stuff going on, and I'm not. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, a month after month after month, and like, hey, we got a character for you. We're going to bring in as a Duck Dynasty guy. Grow the beard out, do the da-da-da-da-da. I was like, ooh, I can work with that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hillbilly. I like drinking beers and having a good time and, you know, all that stuff. I was like, I can handle that. And like, well, we want to give you a girl too. And I was like, ooh, I already kind of been down that road.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It doesn't really work out, you know, for the guy.
Is she 18?
Yeah, it doesn't really work out for the guy to have an untrained wrestler lady as your like main focal point, because it only takes a minute and the fans want to see him in the ring.
That's right.
Even if they're not ready, even if they've never had a match or been trained or anything.
Yeah.
They want to see him. So they're like, we got this Duck Dynasty character, this and that. I was like, ooh, this is going to be cool. They're like, I was like, can I throw out suggestions for the lady? I was like, because you keep giving me these 18-year-old diva, you know what I mean? That's not real.
Yeah, they steal your thunder, man. Yeah.
Look at this. I got to pay for radio, man. Like, I ain't a handsome cat anymore. You know, so I was like, hey, my friend Luke Gallows just got married to, you know, Amber or whatever. And we were getting along, we were hanging out, and I was like, she ain't never really had a break on TV. She's got that deep accent, you know what I mean? She's like, you can tell she could whoop some butt, you know what I mean? She's been there before. She's been there, done that. Like, she's not this innocent little creature that's just barely like a little baby deer, like peeking out of the forest for the first time. Like, she's been there and done that. Yeah. So I was trying to pitch that, and I get a call from like this guy, somebody like, I think it was like Christy Hemme or something like that. So reading, I was kind of like, what? Like, I didn't know you were part of Creative, Christy. Like, whatever. So, like, okay, were you ready to come back to TV? I was like, yep, please. Anything. I'll wear a dress if you want me to. I don't care. I need money. Like, you know? And they're like, we're going to do this character for you. Have you ever seen Carnival? And I'm like, has anybody? I don't know. What is that? Like, I didn't know what it was. So I was like, I rush off and I watch it. Boom. Because that's the same thing they told me with the Aces and Eights. You watch Sons of Anarchy? I was like, Well, that's what your character is, so go watch them. You know what I mean? So I think we did that with the Carnival, and I watched a bunch. I was like, what's my character? This is the weirdest group of people ever. Like, who's supposed to be the wrestler here? Like, the guy, the little guy? Who is it? Oh, man. So, like, they get there and they fly me out to this place. And they give me this story, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, So my family all owns a fair, huh? Or some kind of, oh, man. Okay, what else? Yeah. Well, we're going to give you a clown. I was like, oh, I was kind of scared of clowns. We're going to give you a strong man. We're going to give you this group, and the girl's going to be she's a fire dancer, and they're going to be throwing fire everywhere, and it's going to be really cool. And it's like this. And that. All right, you know. So the old snake oil salesman, you know, they get you all fired up, and they get you behind it. And we had like, I show up for the first time, like, to TV. And I'm like, all I had was my Aces and Eights gear, man, and my Duck Dynasty gear.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, what do you got for me? They're like, what do you mean? Nothing. I was like, what am I supposed to wear? What am I supposed to do? Like, I'm supposed to be a circus man. Like, where's my stuff? You haven't paid me in 6 months. What do you think? I'm going to buy gear?
Right.
No. Like,
Exactly.
you buy it. So I go out the first night of the big Menagerie with Rebel, and I'm in jeans and a freaking tee and a Aces and Eights wife beater. You know what I mean? Like, and then like wrestle Frankie, he puts me over, like real nice. You know what I mean? Professional. It was okay. You know what I mean? And then we tried to build up a little bit, and then it just never, like, we're going to let you go to all the house shows, and we're going to do a circus before everyone. We'll have Crazy Steve out there making balloon animals, and you can be barking and just doing what you do with the people because you can see it right away whenever I get around the fans. Like, I think I'm hyper now, bro. Get a few cocktails in me, man. Like, you're out of my mouth. You can't stop me. You know, so I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, dang, just let me do my thing, man. And they're like, we're gonna have man like bending big steel bars, and I'm like, dang, that might be cool, man. If we're gonna get to do this on every house show, we'll be on all the shows. Of course, my mind all of a sudden is like, all right, so I'll be on every show. I'll be getting this kind of money. I'll be doing this. My old lady won't be pissed off at me no more. You know what I mean? I'm gonna quit wrestling because I tell her how much it's great, and then I don't work for 6 months, you know, or just travel to Japan every once in a while, like just scraps. And then it's like I kind of did this contract and it didn't work out, and they switched TV stations, so they're trying to cut the pay, and I bargained myself up to this price, and I was making like more than the other three. And you know, they started looking at the books and they're just like, well, we got the clown and the big guy and the girl, like, why do we need this other guy? Like, why do we need that guy that's out there working?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't. We'll just send him at home.
Wow.
So yeah, man, there was like another thing, TNA, big promises, and you know, I think they tried.
Yeah.
But at that time, that was so chaotic there. Like, boys weren't getting their checks on time, and like we were going through the TV. We didn't know if we were going to have TV, and it's like the crew wasn't getting, like the camera guys weren't getting paid, and they were going to go on strike. And it's like, dang, like what the heck's going to happen? Is there even going to be a TNA? Like we didn't know. It was a crazy time, man. So it's like you want to complain and you want to moan about it, and you want to, you know, wish for all this, you know, the good things that would have happened to you, but that wasn't the time, man.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it is the way it is now. Boys seem to be making a little bit of the money again, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot more solid than it was beforehand. Yeah. All right, let's do a 2-minute lightning round. I'm just going to fire some questions away and give me just
lightning round. I like to ramble.
All right, here we go. Give me just a few things. If you could create a team with Snitsky, what would you call yourselves?
The handsome young gentleman.
I like it. Any plans to come back and join AEW during appearance?
AEW guys are very young and they work very, very hard. I do not think my body can take AEW, but it might be able to take TNA.
What was your highest and lowest moment with the WWE? Big fan.
My highest moment, oddly enough, was almost at the end of WrestleMania in Arizona in front of my home fans. I got to do the Battle Royal, the Andre Battle Royal, and I got to kick a lot of butt in it too, man. I was high cross body and everybody. Like, it wasn't one of those things where they just like, oh, who do we eliminate first? Mike, you know, they let me kick some butt in there, which was really nice. My mom got to see it, my dad, like family, all my friends, my old girlfriends that said I would never make it, you know what I mean? Like all the little turds, you know, all the little guys that you wrestle with, you know, and they think they're better than you, and then all of a sudden you just like, you keep going up and they stay in the same spot, like, and they all saw it too. You know, that was probably the highest point. The lowest point was probably when Michaels kicked me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't take myself seriously, but it was like, you want to talk about losing your smile, big guy. You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on Marcus Corvan?
Well, I wish he would have stuck around a little longer. You know, he had a good build, physical. His character was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I wish he would have stuck around a little bit longer, but you gotta respect every man's choice to do what he wants to do.
Mike Knox, how was it working? How was it working with RVD and ECW?
It was great. He almost knocked my face off many times. I know he's got a lot of stuff, man. When them kicks come at you,
yeah.
Well, you better get your hands up because he's gonna hit you right in the face. But that's what it's supposed to be.
Yep.
It ain't ballet, baby.
That's right.
Gotta look good.
I remember you being asked in the backstage segment, Mike Knox, why did you keep attacking Rey Mysterio? And you answered in most common ways, I don't know. What were your thoughts about this feud? I say it like that because there was no payoff for it.
There was no payoff for it. And that was a really stinker too. What we were doing was I had just come over, I think I just came over to Raw. And they were trying to find a new kind of, like a new character for me, kind of, and like they stripped me off with any kind of color of tights. They're like black tights, black boots.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, nothing on my tights? Nothing? They're like, nope. I was like, oh, that's boring. That's what jobbers wear. Like, so I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, if I'm gonna wear this stuff, I better look different. So I started growing out.
Mm-hmm.
And we started doing stuff with Ray. And they didn't know where my character was going to go. And I can't remember. I don't know who wrote it because there was a revolving door of writers. But they handed me the thing, and I'm just sitting. I was like, all right, that sounds a little bit more like it. You know what I mean? Like I could really get behind this kind of a character, like a character who just like a dog chasing cars. You know what I mean? Like I just like fighting people. You look like fun. I want to fight you. Like,
yeah.
Oh shoot, man! So I was just like, I thought it could have been a cool character, but they decided to go the nerd way. So
yeah. What are your thoughts looking back on the controversial Manam and San segment? Were you skeptical being part of the angle, or did anyone feel like it was in bad taste beforehand?
Man, like I said, I think a little different. I thought it was a cool character. You know what I mean? They would get a lot of heat.
Yeah.
A lot of heat.
Mm-hmm.
And, they brought a few of us up, and it was our first little taste from Deep South of like guys getting pulled up to do stuff. So I think it was like me and Jack Bull, Val Venus was in there, Derek Nykirk, like the Chain Twins, or the Gemini, I mean. But I don't know. Whoever you guys, whenever you guys remember them fondly, because I always do. So we were out there. We were getting to work with Taker. Like he was just kicking our butts. Like I was like, wow, this is how they bring it in the main event. Like this and that. And then like slowly but surely, I got to start seeing the heat, like different kind of heat. It wasn't wrestling kind of heat no more. It was weird. I was like, I don't know, man. It was just weird. You feel good heat, you feel bad heat. And you feel heat that you're proud to get. You feel a heat that you're pretty glad you're under a mask.
Yeah.
It's taking the blunt of it,
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like it's was this terrorist or something. You know what I mean? It's like you come to TV, they write you this stuff, and you go do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get heat, and sometimes the heat gets you.
That's true. Absolutely. Last question. When you were in Aces and Eights, did you ride a motorcycle?
No. And here's why. Because there's TNA, and they don't let you do anything cool at TNA. No, man. They're like, hey, go get your motorcycle license. Otherwise, you can't ride the motorcycles on the lot or whatever. And I'm like, I've been riding motorcycles for 30 years or however long. I was 10 years old when I got my first one, let alone that I crashed it in the first day. But whatever. That doesn't mean I can't ride now. So all the boys, like I was just talking to everybody. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get it. You know what I mean? I'll come flying down the thing like cool. You know what I mean? Like I'll do that. And then all of a sudden I start talking to the boys, and they're like, huh? They're like, dude, they ain't gonna get us bikes. What are you thinking, dummy? This is TNA. Like, so of course, like every time like we get there and like the bike gang shows up, and they're all older, you know what I mean? They're like a Christian bike gang or something, like they're all straight edge, and we at the Aces and Eights were not. So, we were always drinking and having a good time, and they'd ride around and we'd give them our gear, we'd give them our clothes, like they'd ride around the town or whatever and seem to be the Aces and Eights. They cut, they'd stop it. We'd take our clothes back, get on the bikes, and rev them up. That's about as far as we ever got. We just rev them up. Try not to blow them up.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
we were idiots. Hey, and they were right to not let us drive those bikes. Did you ever see those backstage things that we were doing?
Oh yeah.
We're drinking beers all day long. Like,
yeah,
you have to be idiots to let us drive those bikes.
Yeah, drinking beers and playing cards, man. Those were all the segments. Was drinking beers and playing cards. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Knox. Once again, man, let them know about your business, man. Get some clientele, whoever's in Tampa.
Heck yeah, man. If you're looking to sell, buy, looking for some kind of a commercial real estate, any of that stuff, I can do all of it. Come on down to Tampa. It's beautiful here. COVID gave us the boots, but we're recovering strong. We're back open full. Yeah, man, get in touch with me at Book Mike Knox. Hey, there you go. And I think my Instagram is like Knoxy78 or something, but I only got 4 posts. I'm gonna get better, I promise.
Good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Mike Knox. I am Dr. Chris Featherstone. We are here once again for another awesome episode, Unscripted. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Have a
Happy
great
holidays.
Night. Yes, indeed.
Stay careful. Much love. Respect.
Absolutely. Mike Knox, Chris Featherstone, Unscripted once again. Bye-bye.